Let's see this time.
Well, everything is still mirrored here, so
Yeah, pretty close.
I think we've got a little bit of downtime.
Yeah, definitely a little bit. They're both building third commands.
You were mentioning this earlier that I can't remember what the context of it was, but the articles on Team Liquid coming up that have.
No, it's just that one. What was it called? The elephant in the room, I think.
Yeah.
That hit piece on all the pro gamers that was like clickbait. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know. We've all joked about that for years. That was silly.
But I also find one of the things I always find
gamers
funny.
aren't as good as they used to be. Nah, they're much better. You're right.
Yeah, I'm always shocked when people say that.
Yeah.
Like, these games aren't as good as the old games. I think you have the same internet I do. Go back and look at those games and tell me that's true.
Yeah. Silly stuff.
I mean, there was definitely some exciting moments in the older days as we hadn't seen that many strategies in the game yet.
Yeah.
So everything had a little bit more novelty, but this is way better, way cleaner. The other one I like is when people talk about the game dying. Oh, the oldest, most
That's
robust
pretty much
game
gone
of all
though
time.
in Starcraft, right?
It'll come back. Give it some time.
You're right. It rotates.
Give it some time.
Through.
Someone becomes hysterical and decides that they can't play the game anymore, and then projects that onto everybody who's playing the game right now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty normal.
It actually happens in other games too. It's happened in chess a couple times. People decide that chess is going to die.
Yeah, that's kind of funny because that one's pretty old and it doesn't seem like it's going to die to me.
Well, and apparently now it's bigger than ever, so
yeah,
it's even funnier. It's quite the opposite.
It's a good game. It's a good game.
So again, guys,
a little bit easy for my taste, but
I mean, there's no fog of war in chess.
That's true. And your opponent waits for you to take a turn. That's ridiculous, don't you think?
You just keep moving your pawns.
Yeah. Oh, this is hilarious. What am I even looking at? He just flew in with mass Vikings and landed them.
Yeah, this is...
and it didn't work at all. It didn't even come close to working.
Well, hold on. Let's see how this attack goes over here. This might be Kier getting like a little bit cocky.
It was like... It was a very box art move, and like...
I love when you say box art.
Well,
it so is on the back of the box of the
Yeah.
game. Like, here's what a fight looks like.
No, I know. If you go look at like the various box arts for Starcraft, it's like a floating science facility and a battle cruiser
two
against
void
a carrier.
rays, and yeah, stalker on
it's
the ground.
That type of thing. It's like, and then the Vikings flew in and landed, and they had the Raven from the skies rain down the auto turrets to help. And then he does that and loses all those units.
What's funny is that Blizzard always kept that consistent. With StarCraft 1 into StarCraft 2 was the box art that absolutely did not represent what the game looked like when you played it. It was so funny.
Well, you don't want to probably represent what the game actually looks like to new players that you're trying to get to buy the game, because it's going to basically be a man crying into his hands at his PC. Right?
Just grinding of teeth and tears coming down as Nidus worms pop up in your base.
And then, yeah, someone being like, man, it's just a game. You know, it's like, oh, no.
Why are you so mad? It's just a computer game.
Yeah, you just started playing this game, right? He's like, no, I've been playing for 8 years.
I put more work into this than I did in Hall of College.
Yeah. I feel like oh, my God. He has actually twice as many Vikings as Bomber. 10 against 5. How does this even happen?
Well. Yeah, actually, how does that happen? That's weird.
There's not as much production, I guess, going on consistently out of that starport.
It does seem like whatever Bomber's doing is like an older approach to the matchup.
Yeah.
You know when you see somebody come back for a long time, or you and I have had this when we've had to take breaks and then come back, and we're trying to do whatever we did back in the day, and it's completely obsolete. It does seem like we're having a inferior play here from Bomber just all around. Nice snipe step SCV.
Gets a Raven and the SCV that was going to build a sensor tower.
Yeah, for almost nothing, too.
Yeah. Nice stuff from Kier. Just showing his speed, showing his power. 2-2 finishes up here for Bomber. Wouldn't mind to see him try to move out in the map a bit more. He's been sitting very passively, but you know what? Kier is maybe giving him good reason to, right? Right on the edge of some of his sensor towers, like in the right-hand side of the map. He has groups sitting around, right? Kier is ready to pounce if he sees Bomber out of position.
Well, Kier, again, just if you guys look at the mini-map, I think it's illustrated a little bit better there than on what we're seeing on screen here. But there are these, well, here's what I was going to get to. Little army down there, and there's actually another one to the center right at about 3 o'clock on the mini-map. And basically, Kier is waiting for Bomber to move out on either way, and then he wants to come and drill in and hit one of these soft spots.
But Bomber is turtling so heavily this game,
Yeah.
and he's not anywhere near as far behind as previously, right?
No, this is a much better game than game 1.
Well, he's gone up to 5 bases already, so that's really good. He's got his 3-3 on the way, well ahead, and he's adding a bunch of starports. So that's kind of what you need to see. He's even building more command centers, right? Same amount as Kira is. So they both kind of realize that they're in this type of situation. Tank heavy, well, flying units deal with that, you know? So
yeah.
That's where Bomber needs to get into, and I know that he has a bunch of starports, but right now he's grossly behind on air. Grossly behind. So I'm very nervous for him here, because it's like Kira should be able to out-finesse him with the army he has very, very quickly.
Yeah, it's a much more technical army. In fact, he could probably disable every single tank here, right?
Look at this. 9 Ravens to 1, 15 Vikings to 7 at the beginning of this battle.
Wow.
Not even a chance.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Everything was killed off there. That was insane. That was absolutely insane. Okay, so another disable.
So
the
funny.
tanks keep creeping in.
Yeah, you can just disable everything with this much, and you have enough Vikings that your opponent can't shoot them out of the sky.
It's important that you get up to this type of tech. You can't just stay back on what you had before.
You can't sit on Marine tank. Like, if you want to utilize Marines more heavily, when they throw their Marines away, you have to look at that and you have to say, oh, he's switching into air. I have to attack right now.
It reminds me of these games where you start out in a certain time period and you have to eventually upgrade.
Yeah.
Like you grow with the ages.
He's
like
still
right
using
now,
spearmen.
Yeah, he's got spearmen, and right now Curse is rode in on horseback.
Yeah.
You know, and
well, that's probably the spearmen would do okay against horseback, but not against a tank.
yeah, right now they've come in to have muskets. How's that?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Even if the spearman gets close, they have a bayonet.
Yeah, they're fine. I think you're still in trouble if you have to use your bayonet against a spearman.
Yeah,
but
you don't want to do that.
You don't want it. That's not the goal.
But like, you know, you might 1-for-1 there. Not a good outcome for the musketeer, but like for me, the general, it's fine.
Yeah, you're fine. So we're just watching as Kira continues to tiptoe through the position of Bomber, and Bomber is completely impotent here. He can't do anything against this attack.
Well, this is the type of situation where he might just want to mass Vikings, right? And plow through everything. He's sending up the rest of his army up the middle of the map. This is actually a good move. I like this type of move because right now Kira is so tech heavy, he probably doesn't have that much at home.
Yeah, and he doesn't probably have enough infantry to come through.
He has like nothing here.
And this is, I think, Bomber taking a disadvantage and then turning it into an advantage here.
Yeah.
But let's see what is actually down here to try to defend. Okay, great connect on all those Marines. The planetary goes down. This was 3 command centers up here that was picked off. Again, though, Kira has way more bases.
Yeah, disabling a lot of tanks right now. Like, Kira slowly but surely is going to chew through this army, but look, you can see that it takes him some time. We saw a bunch of command centers killed there by Bomber. This was a good set of moves from him. Now, we have mass BCs being made on both sides, but this favors Kira because he's been doing it longer. You know, he has so many Ravens.
We don't often get to see just tanks fight just Marines and see how that goes, but
as you would expect.
Yeah. So Kira's basically held off everything up here, and I assume the next point is actually going to be in that last screenshot back there. He's going to attack over in that location. The problem is, even though Bomber has some good plays, in the big picture, if this was a race, we have Kira basically lapping his opponent.
Yeah, it definitely looks like that right now. I want to see the unit tab. I think that will tell us by far the cleanest story of where these guys are at. They both use up their banks. They're both maxed out. You see their ship weapons are at about the same place. Bomber actually has an extra armor, which is nice.
The battlecruisers, which you've seen a little bit of here, are going to become more and more important as the game goes on.
Battlecruisers are super funny in these situations because disabling them works really well.
Yep.
And Vikings can work really well, but they're like better than a Liberator in these spots.
Yeah.
You know? So it's...
Well, they're also very tanky.
Yeah.
They Yamato gun is just a good... Is it actually Yamato cannon or Yamato gun? I think I've called it
I think it's cannon, technically.
I think I called it Yamato gun my entire career. Oh, yeah, it is Yamato cannon. There it is. Whatever.
Oh, yeah. Okay, there it is. Look at that.
But having that ability.
I just call it Yamato.
Yeah.
It's Yamato, Artos. It's Yamato. Yamato. Whatever, man.
This is going to be a pretty insane amount of damage. And look, it's just a good ability to have in those moments. And this is actually pretty crazy. I don't know how Bomber's going to be able to deal with this.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
well,
man.
he just flies a BC into the middle of it.
The Vikings can actually hunt down those remaining battlecruisers pretty easily.
Oh, that was a huge armor shred right there. Let's see what his Vikings can end up doing here.
Beautiful. Takes out all
man.
3 BCs.
Yeah, and there's actually Marines here fighting the Vikings as well. So even though there was a very good, solid Viking count, it doesn't go as one-sided for Bomber as it should have in this battle because of those. But still, you can see that the Vikings are fighting everything back pretty well.
So guys, bring your attention down to the bottom bar on our screen here and take a look at the minerals and gas that have been banked up here compared to Cure. Now, or compared to Bomber, Cure is just balling this game. He can remake his army very quickly. Now, there is enough minerals and gas banked up that Bomber can begin to remake, but this is where you really see the benefits of having so many bases pay off.
Yeah. I mean, he took some economic damage when Bomber attacked into him, but... And the one thing I do want to mention is the attack that we just saw Cure do, it almost looked really good for a minute, but if he didn't have those Marines underneath and Bomber had dealt with those a little bit quicker, that would have been a truly one-sided massacre for him. Because the Marines actually put so much damage on the Vikings. There were way more Vikings for Bomber. And that's another thing BCs are funny about, right? Like, Vikings can kind of kite them. They just...
Oh, they can literally kite them.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, sometimes easier said than done in these battles, but that's the case. You see, once again, the Marines pushing everything back. This is why you still have to have some siege tanks.
Yeah.
It's a hard balance to maintain, right?
No
you have to have
here,
some tanks, and then you have to have your anti-air units, then you have to have your technical units. Okay, jumping his BCs away. Where's he going? Oh, on top of that many turrets. Ooh. Well, I guess it'll be fine. They're BCs. Okay, well, he has a couple of Thors mixed in here now, but look, once again, the Marines dealing a lot of damage there. Still looks like the air battle going to go to Bomber.
We have some fight going on at 3 o'clock. Here it is. Battlecruisers coming in here and tearing up these SCVs.
Cure coming in with a few Vikings. Going to be able to kill off some of the BCs since they already used their jump. It's at least 2. Looks like he'll get all of them.
Yeah, I think he's going to get this last one here as well. Maybe not. There's enough turrets, it's probably unwise to go any further.
But he can land on the turrets, Tasteless.
This is true. So, where does this game go from here? I mean, it does seem like Cure is just outgrown in a pretty insane level what Bomber's done. Bomber still has an uphill fight. And you can see Bomber trying to come in here and reclaim this area over here. Really goes to show you how hard it is to kill battlecruisers with Marines, even when you have that many.
No, when you get these types of upgrades, it's pretty wild the amount of armor that they have.
So we have Cure regrouping here, but I think he's just going to attack back in here again.
Do BCs have base 3 armor in StarCraft 2?
I'm not good for stuff like that. I don't know.
Yeah,
I think you're probably right, but yeah.
It looks like Cure coming in once again with another big attack. It looks like Bomber brought siege tanks this time, so the Marines will get shredded, but he's lost his Vikings, so I don't think it's going to be enough anyways.
GG. All right, so Cure wins. And
much better game 2.
Yeah, but Bomber...